Hello and welcome back to the Media Stand. Happy Friday the 13th and happy birthday, Jason. Today we're going to talk about, you guessed it, Friday the 13th Part 2 on 4K. And wait, there's more. We're going to talk about the remake as well. When it comes to 4K releases, this franchise has been quite slow. We got Part 1 2 years ago and only Part 2 this year in 2024, and only in the Paramount Scares box set, which is actually, you could find it for a pretty good deal on Amazon, and it's worth a grab. That and the first one, both good deals. Go to Amazon, pick them up. They're a good deal. I would wager that we are going to see a standalone release of this probably sometime next year, but the rest of the movies need to start coming out on 4K. In the Screen Factory box set, this big old hunkin' piece of physical media, beauty, perfection. The first 4 films in this were actually 4K scans of the original camera negative. And this was put out years ago. So those scans are sitting around waiting to just be mastered and pressed to a disc. And all 4 have had Steelbook Blu-ray releases on their anniversary, but no 4K. So why then did it take so long to make the jump from 1 to 2? And why only in a Paramount Scares box set? If you ask me, Paramount's trying to make sure they make their money back on the physical media here. But what I will tell you, because people have often commented on how Part 1's 4K release was very bright, and it kind of was. Part 2 is beautiful. It looks amazing. It's dark. It's rich. It's got great HDR. It looks amazing. And rightfully so, because Part 2 is quickly becoming one of my favorites in the entire franchise. It has really grounded characters. It's a really grounded film altogether. The characters have a lot more soul to them. Jenny is one of the best final girls. And yeah, the bag is a bit, it's a ripoff of The Town That Dreaded Sundown. But this is a franchise that got started by ripping off other things. Should we be that surprised? That takes us to another Friday release that came out, the 2009 remake. A movie with a lot less soul, but a lot more titties, and that's fun. The remake is one that I find very peculiar, and I would love to make more of a deep dive into this. This is not the time for it right now, but if you would like to see that, comment or something. Like this video, subscribe. There you go. This 4K release from Arrow Video for the 2009 remake of Friday the 13th looks outstanding. It is beautiful. It's clear, it's crisp, but it still has great texture to it. It is a phenomenal job, as to be expected from Arrow Video. But why this movie? I am not a fan of the 2009 remake. My brother is.
Jason is athletic, big, fast, strong, accurate.
And you know what? He's wrong. This looks fantastic. And you get both the theatrical and the killer cut on their own discs, and you still get special features. You only get 4K discs with this, no Blu-ray. And that's the same boat we were in with Part 1 when it came to 4K. Part 2 does have a Blu-ray with it. But honestly, at this point, I've got so many copies of all these movies, it really doesn't matter. You get brand new commentaries by writers Mark Swift and Damian Shannon. You get brand new interviews with both the writers, and you get a brand new interview with the director. But one thing that really stood out to me with this release was a new exclusive video essay where somebody talks for 20 minutes about how this is so much more than what it is. It talks about how people think about remakes from the early 2000s, because there were a lot. And then likes to point out to you that there have been remakes all throughout time. Yes, we know. The 80s were full of them. It calls this the rebirth of Jason Voorhees. That was wrong. It literally ended the entire franchise. Claims that it has all the right perspective and is a template for how to do horror remakes. And I have to say that's wrong. Now, this film did not get horrible reviews by both critics and audiences when it came out and since. It holds its own pretty in the middle of the entire 12-film franchise. But the author of this video essay likes to say that this was more efficient than the first 4 films because it covers all 4 films within 1 hour of this one film. Actually kind of takes pride in speed running through multiple films. Everybody knows that the 2009 remake is basically just a remake of the first 4 Friday films. It has 2 openings, or 2 intros. You have the intro where it shows in black and white a recap of basically the first ending. You see Pamela Voorhees get beheaded by camp counselor, and this is like a flashback. And then it cuts to some teens who are hiking along the woods looking for a camping spot, when really they're just looking for a place where they know there's supposed to be a bunch of marijuana, and they're there to harvest it. The teens come upon Camp Crystal Lake, and they run into our good pal Jason, who at this time is squarely in the bag mask phase. It's actually a good opening. It really sets a good tone. It's gritty. You can tell they're very much trying to take after the Texas Chainsaw remake, but it only leads to the opening title and serves as a prelogue to the main story. That opening title hitting at 27 minutes. Now, in this video essay, the author likes to point out that, that 27-minute cold open is a callback to the 12-minute cold open of Part 2. Wrong. Admittedly, the 12-minute cold open of Part 2, already long. 27 minutes for this cold open on the remake, too long. This is the problem of trying to shove 4 movies into one. But he also will point out to you how the remake changes little things so that it's not just copying and pasting the same story. Because what we need in good remakes is to not copy and paste. But that's exactly what this did. For 4 films, we get Pamela Voorhees being the first villain and getting her head cut off. You get people sitting around a campfire while Jason is now the villain.
And if you listen to the old timers in town, they'll tell you he's still out there. Some sort of demented creature. Legend has it that Jason saw his mother beheaded that night. And he took his revenge. A revenge that he'll continue to seek if anyone ever enters his wilderness again.
Jason, he came back. He was actually there. He watched his mom being beheaded.
You get guy who's trying to figure out what happened to his missing sister. You get Jason finding the hockey mask. You get a whole lot more titties.
Oh, wow. Your tits are stupendous.
One thing that really gets me about the 2009 remake is trying to figure out what was going through their minds and trying to say, let's remake a movie from the 80s, a whole franchise from the 80s that spawned so many different tropes throughout the 10 years of the 80s that it was being made. People do praise the fact that the new Jason is a lot more agile, he's tougher, has skills, accurate with a bow, can throw an axe pretty well. And yes, there's a lot of making fun of the tunnels. This was a thing in the early 2000s of trying to over-explain everything, thus removing any kind of fear or mystery. But that contrasts with the rest of the film. If you want to take a more grounded, gritty take on the film or the franchise, then don't also throw in tropes from the late 80s in this specific franchise. In the first 4 films, there was no trope for characters that you don't like and you just want to see them killed, or all of the typecasts, all of the archetypal character types, specifically ones that are more goofy and kind of make you not like the characters, thus you want to see them get slashed, didn't really hit until later in the franchise, like around 5. So throwing them in to this movie didn't make a lot of sense.
Oh, does Daddy have a little lick?
To me, it's like having the grounded and gritty Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy mixed in with a little bit of Adam West goofiness.
Your tits are fucking just so juicy, dude.
It's a clash. made it feel like you shouldn't take seriously how different Jason is now. But all in all, this is a fantastic release. You get a nice slipcover, maybe. This has been sold out a lot. You do get a reversible cover with the original cover art. A nice little postcard for Camp Crystal Lake. And you know what's awesome about this? It's a real postcard. You can mail this to somebody. You also get a little booklet. Awesome. And a reversible A1 poster. So when it comes to Friday the 13th 4Ks, we got a good year. Part 2 looks amazing. It's a better presentation than the first one. Not that the first one was bad, but it was brighter. And honestly, the more resolution you get on these films, the more you can start to see through the prosthetics and the practical effects. And for those who really love it, the remake is beautiful on Arrow's release. Even if you're not the biggest fan of the remake, like myself, I can't deny it looks amazing and it's a fun watch. I mean, it looks good. It looks really good. It looks amazing. It's so fucking beautiful.
These would win in a fucking titty contest.
Though the original run had been sold out and then now reprinted, go pick it up if you can find it. With or without a slip, it's a great buy. You can never go wrong with Arrow Video. And rumor has it, we're also going to get Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X by Arrow. Honestly, I'm probably looking more forward to that. At least Jason Goes to Hell. It's a weird movie, and it's really wrong and horrible for the whole franchise, but it's weird. I dig it. And if you really can't wait to get part 2 on 4K, I'm telling you, picking it up in the Paramount Scares box set is a great price with all the other movies that you also get with this. And I think it also comes with a poster and some other knickknacks. Maybe if you want me to do a review on both of the Paramount Scares box sets, leave a comment and let me know. I might.
You got perfect nipple placement, baby.
Well, that's all I got for you today. Happy Friday the 13th. Go watch some Camp Crystal Lake sleaze. And have a great night.